it up for Rafinha! Oh, Rafinha! Tries a shot! Oh, my word! Goes out for Shackleton, side for ball, it's in! It's off Patrick Bamford! Cleek with a chance to score!
A point in the north, penalties in the south, Leeds through to the last 16 of the Cup, and it's back to Premier League action this weekend against West Ham. So let's get stuck into it. This is the warm-up. Coming up for you on the warm-up.
We need a darts nickname from you, Cal.
Calvin, Pinpoint Perlo.
You'd look at Norman, rub his finger in his mouth and go, that's another one, Norm.
Do really enjoy playing both centre mid and right back.
Joining me today to discuss all things Leeds United, Leeds legend Eddie Gray and Leeds legend Don Matteo as well. Nice to see you both first and foremost. Let's start with that penalties win in the Cup. Leeds through to the last 16 after the penalties down at Fulham. Dom, I'll start with you. Should we book our tickets for Wembley yet?
Let's hope so. But no, a long way to go. It was a good performance against a difficult side. Fulham, a decent side, obviously been around the Premier League themselves. And I think it was a difficult game for us because we've had injuries, we've had a few players out, and obviously made a few changes. You know, Creswell got a good start and you know, clean sheet for him as well, which I think was very important to start getting clean sheets. So that was important for me from a defensive point of view. But I think overall Fulham weren't bad, they were at it, but defensively we were much better. And I think that's something I've always been talking about recently. We have to get better defensively because if we're going to grind results out, clean sheets is everything. And so far we haven't had too many of them, but in the Cup we did. So hopefully we can move forward from there.
Eddie, you know, Cups recently haven't necessarily been Leeds' most startling achievements, let's be fair, but it's nice to be in the next round. It's nice to think that maybe this could be a season we could go on a bit of a run. Yeah,
I wasn't really concerned how we played the other night, as long as we were in the heart for the next round. I think it's important, gives the players a little bit of confidence. Tough game at Fulham, as Dom says, but you come away there, you work hard, you win the penalty shootout, and everybody's happy. So, just a little bit unfortunate, I think, we're not home in the next round. It'd be nice to get a home tie. I always believe the further you can go in competitions, the better it is. But it's nice to have that cup run. I think a bit premature to talk about Wembley yet, but hopefully we'll be there.
And if we can't get excited once we're through to the next cup run, when can we get excited? But yeah, no, you're right.
Once you get to the quarterfinals, then you can start thinking.
All right, I'll come back to you on that one. I'll come back to you. Penalty shootouts, is that a moment that maybe could be the thing that galvanises the team moving forward? Haven't managed to get the win yet in the league, but a penalty shootout, how much does that do for team spirit when you come away from a match like that and you get through something like that?
You're probably asking the wrong person. I only ever took them in friendlies right throughout my career, and I scored them, to be honest. But no, I think, like you say, confidence, young boys an opportunity to show what they can do and show what they're made of as well. For some of the young players who took penalties, it takes some bottle to stand up and take one. I never took one in an actual, like a proper game. So like I said, mine was only friendlies. So these are young kids getting thrown in there and they stood up well to the challenge. Obviously we've seen a couple missed, but that's the way it is. But like Eddie said, it was just great for us to get through and have that positivity again running through the club, because I don't think it's been negative at all in the way Leeds have played. There've been a bit of lucky games, but for me, it's about getting that positivity around the team again, because that's the one thing I think is lacking a little bit, is a little bit of like creating more chances, creating more opportunities for players. That's what I think is just the missing link, and we're not taking it when we get the chance.
Yeah, I think Dom's right there. You know, you look at the games we've played, you know, we won the game the other night in the penalty shootout, but we've only really won one game this season. You know, when you look at it, the Crew game. But to get a victory, however it comes, penalty shootout, 1-0, as Dominic says, you don't concede, that gives everybody a bit of confidence as well. So hopefully we can take that into the league games. You don't want to be maybe languishing in the bottom 4 or 5 after about 7 or 8 games. So we've got to try and pick up points soon. And the quicker we can do it, the better for everybody. The more the players will relax a little bit more, gives them that little bit of confidence. And the crowd as well, because the crowd can feel it. You know, if things aren't going well, they get a bit anxious, and it can transmit to the players as well. Dom knows he's played in some big games, and if things aren't going well, you can sense the crowd are getting anxious, and the players get a little bit more anxious. So to get a victory, however it came, and it came at Fulham, is good for the morale at the club, I think.
Incredible travelling support there as well. Midweek, so many thousands of Leeds fans that were down there. You mentioned the young players, you know, Somerville, Cresswell, Geldart, McKinstry, they're all 19 years old. It doesn't always work when you play kids in a cup game. We've seen that before, it doesn't always, but it did work. It worked for us, we're through to the next round. But two of them, the latter two of those, to actually step up, like you say, and take a penalty under that kind of pressure, future's bright.
The future is bright, and it's great they're getting the opportunities. Sometimes under the manager at the moment, sometimes we don't get them chances to showcase all the younger players, but we have got lots of good young players within this club at the moment, and I think that's something that we need to build upon and grow it, because we want local lads coming through in Leeds United and playing for the club, like Eddie did for years and years, because that's what you want to embed into your club, is that kind of respect for your club and how you conduct yourself as well. And all them boys you've talked about, you know, I've listened to the way they've talked on stuff for the club. They speak really well. They're really passionate about playing for Leeds United. So for them to step up and take penalties was amazing. I mean, like you say, I probably wouldn't have done that, being brutally honest, but these lads did, and it's just showcasing what they can do. And the one thing they don't lack is bottle. They've got plenty of bottle, and when they're asked to do it, they did it, and that's great for their confidence going forward.
I think Alan Hansen once saying you don't want anything with kids. Well, I think that's been proved wrong, and it was proved wrong on that occasion. But I think the thing about young players, and I'm a great believer, it doesn't make any difference how old you are. If you're good enough, you're old enough, and that's it. And that's why Marcelo probably put these boys into the side, because he thinks they're good enough to play. And hopefully, even when everybody's fit, they'll be knocking at the door, or knocking at the manager's door, saying, hey, I should be in there. And that's the way you want it at football clubs. You want a lot of competition. You don't want players thinking, oh, I'm in the team forever. You want a lot of young boys coming in and pressing the manager, putting pressure on the boys, you know, and that are in front of them. And that keeps everybody on their toes. Dom knows that.
It's hunger, isn't it? It's being hungry.
Yeah.
Being hungry to play in every game. I think that's massively important.
You speak about being hungry to play in every game. Just on the final point on Fulham, you know, Dan James, partner, gave birth earlier in the day. He's in a helicopter, he's down there, he wants to be part of that. I don't think I would have got a pass had I been a professional footballer, but hey, fair play to Dan. Congratulations to him and his partner as well. But that shows the hunger, doesn't it, to go and scores a penalty as well.
It does as well. We've talked about Dan James and his willingness to learn and get back to playing the way Leeds want to play. Because obviously we know he went to that club, we won't talk about them, but he went there and he's probably learnt a lot from that as well in his experience, and now he's obviously come to Leeds United, and we need him to, I suppose, he needs players alongside him to give him the service that he needs. We know he's electric, we know he's got a lot of pace, you've got to get him on the ball in the right areas. I don't think obviously he's only played a couple of games, but that's the kind of, you want to be getting him like on the ball early doors and play the ball into him, because he's got electric pace. Get him on the ball in them areas, because that's the one thing I've not seen from Leeds this year is the creative side of the team hasn't really happened yet for me personally. But I think when we have got that kind of pace, we've got to utilise it and put the ball into the right areas for these players to run into, because that's one thing we need to improve on as well.
What you want to do with somebody like Dan James is isolate him, 1v1 situations. We've got to get him into areas where you can get the ball out of him and quick and encourage him. And regardless of how he's playing, you know, like if he's going up to the full back and he doesn't get by him once, twice, three times, you keep encouraging him to have a go. Because that one time he gets round the back, he creates havoc. And that's what you've got to encourage the boy to do. And it's strange for him to be coming, you know, for another club, to our club, play in a different manner. Probably training's completely different. So it'll take him a few games, I think, to settle in. But with the pace he's got, as Dominic says, he can get by people. It can become a huge asset for our club.
We're back to Premier League action, of course, this weekend. West Ham, the visitors, 2 home games in a row. It seems like ages ago, that Friday night match at St James's Park. Eddie, you were there. Disappointing to maybe had chances to possibly wrap that game up, but important to avoid a defeat, certainly after the home defeat to Liverpool.
Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, I was sitting next to Adam Forshaw at the game, and I turned to him after 10, 15 minutes, and I says, Adam, we'll be disappointed if we don't pick the 3 points up tonight. And it was disappointing, because I thought it was a poor Newcastle side. We dominated the game in periods early on. And basically, when you actually analyse the game, and then looking at their side, we were playing against one player. And he caused us a lot of problems. He's a top-class player. But when you look at the situation like that, that's the type of game you've got to take advantage of. You know, if you're playing against a side, they're not playing well, the crowd are getting onto them, they weren't posing us a lot of problems unless Maximum get the ball, and then, you know, we created so many openings. There wasn't a vast amount of clear-cut chances, but there were so many opportunities to create chances, and we never took them. So usually when you get away from home, you say, pick a point up in the Premier League away from home, everybody's happy. You know, leaving the ground that night, it felt like a defeat, because you knew you should have picked the 3 points up that night. So although, you know, like at times we played well, as Dom says, you've still got to, that creative spark in the last third to create, you know, chances, clear-cut chances I'm talking about, it just wasn't there. Although we missed a couple of half chances, it just wasn't there. So hopefully we can regain that, especially at home. Because if you're going to do well in the Premier League or any league, you've got to win your home games. You'll pick points up away from home, but it's at home, the majority of your points will come. Yeah. So hopefully we can start. We get 2 home games, as you say, in the trot. Saturday's game, I think, looks a tough game. They're playing as well as they've played for a long time. Probably the strongest West Ham side you've seen for a while. Get players that can hurt you. So the players will have to be at their best to pick the 3 points up. But I think they're more than capable of doing it.
Still to come, we'll see Kalvin Phillips take on the 9 Darts Challenge. We'll hear from Jamie Shackleton, who of course played in that win over, the cup tie win over Fulham midweek as well. And we'll be fully previewing the West Ham game. But before we get into that, Dom, let's just take a look at your predictions for the Premier League this weekend. And just a couple of quick ones for you as well, because there's some big tasty games in there, starting with the lunchtime kickoff between Chelsea at home to Manchester City. Let's get a score prediction on that one, Dom.
I think it'll be a draw, that. I think 1-1 for me for that game. Yeah. You don't think it? No?
Chelsea, 2-0.
2-0?
I think Chelsea are a strong side. I think the strongest Chelsea side I've seen for a long time.
I still think Man City are a top side.
We'll see. Oh, they're a top side.
We will see.
I'm going for Chelsea to win the league this year.
Well, I think you might be right. I think they're strong, but I do think as well that there's other teams as well that have got an opportunity.
Interesting confrontation.
Can we have you back? Because no one's ever challenged Dom on his predictions before.
No, it's fine.
Whatever he says is fine.
The thing is, we've all got our own opinions, haven't we? I think it will be a draw. That's just my honest opinion. Eddie thinks obviously Chelsea are strong this year.
I just get a feeling that big centre forward could bully them a wee bit.
Maybe.
One of the ones to look at as well.
Yeah, of course.
Just very quickly, just with them purely being our previous opponents and our next opponents, Watford at home to Newcastle. How do you see that one going? I
think Watford will beat them. I do.
Agreed.
What do you think, Ed?
Agreed.
You agreed? At least we've agreed on something.
Well, I've seen Newcastle play.
Yeah, agreed. So right. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Watford are one of those teams that I did worry at the start of the season. When you look at the squad, you think, are they going to be good enough? But I think they'll maybe just be okay this year, Watford. But I think they might just have enough to beat them.
Okay, you two can continue your Manchester City-Chelsea debate elsewhere. In the meantime, if you're wondering who to put in for your fantasy picks this week, as we get into the latest game week, here's a few suggestions for you.
So, it's game week 6, and here are my top 5 picks for this weekend. Number 1, we're going with Alisson. Liverpool have only conceded 1 goal so far this season, which has seen Alisson earn the most points out of any goalkeeper so far. So if you're looking for a new fantasy goalkeeper, maybe give Alisson a go. Number 2, we're going with Harvey Barnes. 1 goal and 3 assists in his last 2 home games against Burnley. And with the Clarets struggling towards the bottom of the table, it's likely that Harvey Barnes will continue his good form against the away team. Number 3, we are going for Demarai Gray. Against bottom of the table Norwich and a chance to move into the top 4, Everton's leading points grabber will be eyeing up those goals and assists. At number 4, we have Cristiano Ronaldo. Not much needed to say about this man. 4 goals in his first 3 games for Manchester United. He's in my team, get him in yours. And finally, number 5, Rodrigo. He had a great game against Newcastle and was Leeds United's man of the match. Now, in a must-win game to kickstart our season, Rodrigo has the opportunity to shine and show his value.
Jamie, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the midweek win in the Cup as well. I know when we watch it as fans, it's so nerve-wracking watching a penalty shootout. What's it like? You're on the halfway line there, watching each player step up one by one. What's it like for you?
Yeah, as it gets closer and closer to decisive penalties, it gets more definitely gets more nerve-wracking. But it was nice to get through and into the next round.
Jamie, did you not fancy taking one? I hope the goalkeeper wasn't going to take one before you.
Who knows? Maybe so. Like I said to the lads last year, I believe I missed a pen that got us knocked out of the cup. So I'm just glad that didn't happen in that game.
Yeah, it's a great victory though. The most important thing about cup ties, Jamie, is making sure you're in the hat for the next round.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I say, we got through, and we've got another away tie to come in the next round. So, what
do you think of the tie? Away to the Arsenal?
Yeah, another trip to London. It'd be nice to play there, with the stadium full, hopefully, and it's a good ground, and hopefully get into the last 8.
For you personally as well, lots more minutes under your belt as well. Big games coming up, opportunities. How much are you looking forward to the next couple of games?
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to the games that are coming up, and hopefully picking up a few good results, and like you say, hopefully getting some minutes on the pitch to help the team get those points.
Jamie, just from a personal point of view for yourself, Dominic and I were having a chat. I think Dominic's going to ask you a question here about where you like to play.
No, just, because obviously I've played all over the place in my career. Whenever the team kind of needed me, I just fitted in to play alongside it. Are you kind of similar to that? Or have you got a favoured position that you actually want to go and explore and make it your own?
Yeah, that's probably my most asked question. A lot of people ask me that. But I do really enjoy playing both centre mid and right back. It's not a case of, when I get put in one, I'm a bit like, I prefer to be there. I do enjoy, and I feel like I know both positions just as well now. To start with, right back was a bit more challenging because I'd never played there. So at first I was a bit unsure of some of the positioning and stuff like that. But I've been playing there and filling in there for a while now, so I feel comfortable doing that.
And in your own mind, where do you think you'll end up playing though, Jamie?
I think as a midfielder. Just obviously if you need energy and that sort of thing in both positions, but I think it's probably more useful in the midfield.
You're looking ahead to the games coming up now, obviously looking for that first league win of the season as well, but the midweek win must be pretty good spirit. I know you've been at training, you've had your team meeting as you kind of do. What is it like in the squad at the moment? What's the feeling like going into this weekend?
Yeah, good. I think, like you said, the getting through and winning the game ultimately the other night boosts confidence, and hopefully we can carry that into Saturday's game and win again, and hopefully put a little bit of a run together.
Well, look, thanks so much for joining us, Jamie. Congratulations again for midweek, and good luck for the weekend. Hopefully, first win of the season against West Ham. Best of the squads. We'll speak to you later.
All the best for the rest of the season,
buddy.
Thank you very much. See you later, lads. Thank you.
So 2 home games in a row then for Leeds United, starting with a team they've started pretty well. West Ham United lost in the league last week, but then turned over Man United in the Cup this week as well. It is important, look, we're at home. Eddie's already mentioned it, to start picking up these wins.
Yeah, and I think West Ham, we know under David Moyes, very well organised team. I think they've improved again this season. Unlucky maybe not to get a point against Man United in the first. Obviously played them twice, haven't they, recently? So I think they're a bit unlucky. Obviously they missed the penalty. Noble missed that penalty. Or otherwise it could have been a draw. So I think West Ham are on the up, definitely. They've got some clever players, some good footballers, and I think I don't think they'll be challenging, far from it. But I think this year, again, under Moyes, after what happened with him at Man United, obviously, after Fergie retired and he had to take over, it probably took him a little while to get back to his normal self, because when you get a 6-year contract at Man United, it doesn't work out too well. It wouldn't have worked out well for anyone, in my opinion, when you're following the great man. I think it's tough, but I think for me, West Ham now under Moyes just look a different team. I think they're playing a bit more like, not the way I'd expect him to play, David Moyes. He's a bit more free-flowing, letting people, he's got better players now, so they can go and attack certain areas. They've got some, Antonio's back in, we think. He's a big unit, isn't he? And attacking-wise, they've got options. Lanzini got his goal as well. Another good player, I think, if they get him on the ball. They've got lots of people who can cause you problems. Defensively, they're solid as well. You know, obviously against Man United a couple of days ago, they obviously got a victory. You know, and not many teams go to Man United. It doesn't matter what stage you're at, and get a win. And they did, and they found a way. You know, Mark Noble's his last year as well as captain. He'll want to finish the year well because he's been a great servant as well. We have to give him a bit of credit, Noble, because you know he didn't really get many opportunities for England, did he? Maybe a bit of an unsung hero, but he'll go down as a bit of a legend as well for West Ham.
And it's never a good sign when I have to write down the list of injuries and potential injuries for Leeds. But, you know, we know Bamford, Koch, Llorente, they're all out. Pascal, third game for suspension, so he's out for this one as well. Doubtful at the moment, Rafinha, Harrison, Ayling. It's a big proportion of what would be a Leeds United starting 11, isn't it?
Yeah, you get into a game, you know it's going to be a tough game, even if all your players are fit. So the more players, experienced players, that have played, you know, at that level for a while, the better for us it's going to be. So hopefully a few of their players will, you know, be fit for the weekend. I mean, Dominic's mentioned West Ham, and they're playing a different game. And I've been very impressed in recent matches watching Declan Rice. Because people think, oh, he just sits in front of the back four, but if you've noticed him in recent matches, he's getting forward now, he's getting round the edge of the box, he's having shots at the target. His all-round game, to say he's only 22, his all-round game is improving week by week. So midfield players will have to be on their toes because he's the type of player, if he can sense that he's getting the upper hand, he'll dominate the game. A bit, I think, like the little Liverpool midfield player when he played against us, Thiago. He was getting on the ball and passing it here. He was playing with a cup of tea in his hand that game. You know, he was just getting on the ball, passing it beyond people.
Cafe latte nowadays.
Yeah. But you know, if you let players like that dominate, then they're going to hurt you because they can find a pass, they know how to play the game. So it's one thing, we need to be careful, we need to try and dominate the middle of the field. Don't let them get the supply up to the big centre forward, who's a bit similar to the boy at Newcastle. Bustle, quick, run at you, you know, good finisher. So the less that we let them dominate that midfield area, the better it's going to be for us. But I think our players can win the game. We've got to try and hurt them where they might be a bit vulnerable. But when you look at them playing this season, you know, it's hard to put a finger on where they really are vulnerable.
Do you think, Ed, just defensively, from my, you know, as an ex-defender looking in, you know, they're going to be hard to play against, aren't they, West Ham?
Well, West Ham, they've improved leaps and bounds at the back. I mean, many years ago, you know, like for a lot of years, I used to say West Ham were quite a soft touch. But no, now. Because the back boys are willing to mix it physically.
Yeah, Dawson, the big lads, aren't they?
Yeah. And in both games last season, that was really one of the defining factors.
Yes.
It was.
They bullied us a little bit, didn't they?
And set pieces is one of their strong points. They're really good at set pieces. And you know, Eddie knows Moisey better than what I do, but that is one thing he works on. And I know all clubs do, but especially David Moyes, he loves a set piece.
He does, but you know, Dominic touched on it when he was talking there. He seems to have let the players off the leash a little bit this season. He's given them more freedom, I think.
Better
players he's got. Yeah. But the work ethic's still there for them.
Yes.
You know,
sure.
That's the one thing that David Moyes will demand for every player. Hard work. Wherever you play. And you look at them now, it's hard to get out for the back against them because they'll work hard. They'll try and stop you from getting balls into front men. And they look a decent all-round side. So if we pick the points up against them, that should give our players plenty of confidence to push on for the rest of the season. And you mentioned 2 home games in the trot. It'd be lovely to pick the 6 points up, put us in a healthy position, kick-start the season, because you need that first one, just to let everybody relax a little bit.
One of the key battles on the pitch, of course, Declan Rice against his England best buddy, Kalvin Phillips, as well, which we're all looking to see unfold here at Ellen Road. But Kalvin Phillips, although it was exciting to pick up, you know, the player of the year for England, the trophy he really wants at the end of this season is the one for the winner of the 9 darts challenge. Here's how he got on.
Welcome back to another 9 dart challenge. This week we're joined by a very special guest, our very own, the Yorkshire Pirlo, Kalvin Phillips. Cav, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
How are you feeling about the 9 dart challenge? I've been told that you're probably the best, so the pressure's on today.
Well, we can't be very good if they're saying that I'm the best, to be honest, so.
We need a darts nickname from you, Cal. So obviously we've got Phil the Power Taylor, Pete the Snakebite Right. What's yours?
Kalvin, Pinpoint Pirlo.
Love it. Perfect. Do you want to make your way up to the hockey, mate, and we'll go from there? Cal, first 3 darts. Take it away, mate. 17. 17 again. And 19. Not bad 3 darts then. Take that. 53.
What, did Bill get a treble, yeah?
There you go. 60, 19, and a 7. Around 50, and you're up there. 20. 5.
No.
19. 183. I'm pretty sure that takes you to the top of the leaderboard.
So there you go. Brilliant player, all-round nice guy, pretty good at darts. Just Kalvin, just everything really, isn't it? That's Kalvin Phillips for you, but hey, he's ours, so we'll make the most of it. Eddie, Dom, just before we wrap up on the warm-up, and if you ever want to send your questions in, just use the hashtag the warm-up. That's how you do it. A couple of questions that have come in here. First, John from Leeds on Twitter. We've seen Kalvin play at centre-back on Tuesday. Stuart Dallas playing almost every position. How important is versatility in modern players?
You're asking the right person there, aren't you? Kind of player. I remember playing left midfield for Leeds in the Champions League, so yeah.
It was the anniversary of that this week.
I don't know what I was doing playing in that position, but I did. But I think it's good, especially when you're a young player, to learn how to play in different positions. Obviously, you want to nail down one. Some people can do that, some people can't. I actually played all over, and that was kind of how my career was. But I didn't mind that. Maybe I wasn't good at any of them, so you just had to play me all over. You know what I mean? Jack of all trades. But you know, I enjoyed just playing, so I was happy to play anywhere. That's the truth. When you get an opportunity to play for Leeds United, you've got to grab that with both hands. And I've always thought that as a player. I wasn't bothered about playing. I might have said a few words, when playing alongside Rio or someone. Oh, hold on a minute, what's going on here? Why am I not playing? So but you've still got to have that competitive streak. But I think, like you say, when you're talking about Kalvin Phillips, he's a very complete player. He can play anywhere in the pitch, and he wouldn't look out of place. And that is the biggest thing I can say about someone. He's in my eyes, he's leagues above a lot of the other players. But you wouldn't think that the way he talks and the way he articulates himself as well. He speaks very well about the other players, because at the moment he's the number one, isn't he? Let's be honest. Without him, I think we would struggle a little bit, because he's such a leader for us on and off the pitch, and obviously being from Leeds as well, I think is massive for the club.
I think that if you've got a good knowledge of how to play the game, you can play anywhere. I mean, people think I was an outside left. I'd never played outside left in my life till I came to Leeds. I was a midfield player, but I could play centre-back. I played centre-forward. I could play right-back and left-back, which I did. Like Dom. I think if you have a knowledge of the game, you can fit in. If you know how the position should be played, you can play anywhere if you've got a knowledge of how to play the game. And most footballers had. I mean, he talked about playing against Rio, with Rio. Rio could play midfield as well. He was a midfield player at one time.
yeah.
Because he had good knowledge of how to play the game. And I think that stands you in good stead wherever you play. I mean, if he went to play right back, he would know how Luke Ayling should be playing, or Stuart Dallas. And it's a bit like Stuart. Stuart knows when he plays right back how he should be playing. If he plays right side midfield, he knows he should be getting that dead ball and getting balls across the box. He knows if he's playing central midfield, he's got to stifle their midfield players, set attacks up for us. It's just having the knowledge of how to play football.
And also, I think sharing the workload throughout the team as well, because we can't just leave it all to Kalvin Phillips.
No.
So we've got to share that throughout the squad, and I think that will happen. It's just taking us a bit more time this season.
Eddie, question for you. This comes in from Richard from Dublin. We've seen tributes and applause this week for Jimmy Greaves. Just your memories of Jimmy?
Best British striker I've ever seen. Best goal scorer. Used to annoy Norman a lot. Norman, sometimes we'd play against Spurs, and there might be a melee in the goal mouth, and the ball would roll across the face of the goal. And who'd be standing there nearly on the goal line and roll it into the back of the net? It'd be Jimmy Greaves, and he'd look at Norman, rub his finger in his mouth and go, That's another one, Norm. Let's walk away. That was Jimmy Greaves.
Brilliant.
He was some player. Oh, when you look at his goal scoring record, right up there with the best players in the world. There's only two people you can think of probably in world football better goal scoring than this, and that's Messi and Ronaldo, and look how brilliant they are. Jimmy was just an unbelievable goal scorer. But scored all types of goals, you know, Jimmy Greaves. Could hit them from outside the box, headers, tap-ins, a lot of tap-ins. Could pick the ball up in the halfway line, get by 3 and 4 players. And he never seemed to try and burst the ball, Jimmy, when he was knocking it into the back of the net. He always seemed just to pass it in. He'd just roll it into the corner, he'd clip it across the goalkeeper. Yeah, he was a great player. I mean, I think if you asked any Tottenham player that played with him, they just it was a privilege to play with Jimmy Greaves, you know. And unfortunately, he never played in the World Cup final. I think that bugged him for the rest of his life, actually, because I think he felt he was the best striker in the country. But look what Jeff Hurst did when he came into the side. Nobody could knock that.
Yeah.
So he understood that, Jimmy Greaves, but he was some player. Somebody you always love watching.
Yeah.
Even if you know, any fan, whether you're a Leeds fan, a Man United fan, you know, you go enjoy watching Jimmy Greaves play. I mean, you look at his record when he was at Chelsea as a kid. Whoa, that's unbelievable.
Do you not think, Eddie, he looked like he played with a smile on his face?
Yeah.
And I think the best players can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, you know, that's great to, when you're a player. I mean, I wasn't that good enough to do that, but Eddie could do that. You know, when you play with a smile on your face, there's something about that. You know, the fans really take to that, and I think obviously Jimmy Greaves could do that.
But the thing about playing with a smile on your face, you still got to produce.
Oh yeah, of course.
And he produced all the time.
Of course.
I play with a smile on my face and 5-a-side doesn't mean I'm any good at it. Eddie, always great to get your memories and great to get your thoughts on this week's game as well. Dom, thanks for joining as always. Hashtag the warm-up if you want to be a part of things. We'll have your commentary on LUTV. 2 home games in a row for Leeds United. It's a big week ahead and you can follow all the action with us.